This is Bill Vantuono, Editor-in-Chief of Railway Age Magazine at Railway Interchange 2015, and with Kevin Riddett, who is President of Siemens Mobility for the United States and Canada. Kevin, how's the show going for you?
We're having a great show. I mean, I'm really surprised about the attendance. It's a bigger attendance than I expected. I think we're relevant this year at Siemens because we're introducing a lot of new technology from PTC, Northeast Corridor PTC, Freight Railroad PTC, Rail Fusion, some remote diagnostic equipment that we're introducing in the marketplace today. And we're even introducing a mechanical retarder from our German organization today in the market.
That's something fairly new, or very new.
Yeah, for us it is. We're basically, we've been now combined with Inventus for the last 2 years. So our integration process is pretty much completed now, and we're now introducing some interesting products that we found in the German's portfolio into the U.S. market. And what's interesting to me, I'm seeing a real acceptance now to European technology. Maybe it has to do with some of the changes in the marketplace with different acquisitions and mergers, but we're starting to see this marketplace being much more receptive to technology, and since Siemens are world technology leaders, a natural fit for us.
Let's talk a bit about PTC. What does the extension, which presumably will be passed, what does that mean for well, not only for Siemens, but maybe for the industry, the signaling communications industry in general, from your perspective as a CEO?
Okay, from a Siemens perspective, and I'll talk about maybe that, and from a market perspective. From a market perspective first, which I think is much more interesting, is that the market needs to encourage other participants in order to be successful in rolling out PTC in the marketplace. The technology is daunting to imagine all of these railroads running interoperably. And we've seen in the last 6 or 7 years some real challenges in making that happen. So I think now the opportunity for Siemens is that we can bring some technology, vital technology, fail-safe technology from Europe that we run using, operating high-speed trains and CBTC, and we can introduce that to the freight PTC market. And I think, the extension of, 2018, 2020, pick a year, I don't know what the answer is going to be. Yeah. It gives us, enough time to work closely with the railroads and to help them get a system that's operable.
Okay. Let me make an observation here. From my perspective, we, meaning Railway Age, we've been covering this for a long time. Since the beginning, since before that. A lot of the railroads have been saying for a long time, well, we have to spend so much money on PTC that we have to take resources away from other things, other capital needs, other maybe technology needs. You have some perspective on that?
Yeah, what I would say, we produce both the wayside and the onboard units for PTC, so we've been a real participant in the marketplace up to now. So we benefited from the rollout of PTC into the marketplace for because of our portfolio. They've invested a significant amount of money into this industry and into this particular technology development because I think they're looking at a return on their investment, and their return on investment is clearly they meet the mandates of safety, which I think is the primary concern. But second, it gives them an opportunity to look at how they can, by knowing the precise vital locations of their trains, how they can be more efficient moving their trains through the network. And the real advantage to them over time will be if they can run trains closer together than they do today and more efficiently, obviously they improve their throughput. So it becomes not only a safety advantage for them, but an efficiency advantage.
Let's talk about the CNS market for transit, specifically CBTC. New York, as you know, has been working on it. Things are really moving along there. Canarsie, Queens Boulevard. Now they're at the interoperability stage where they can bring other suppliers in. Right. We seem to see in North America a resurgence of at least interest in CBTC.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think it's more than an interest now. I think we're starting to see real momentum. If you look at what Siemens did the Canarsie line 8 or 10 years ago, which was really the first operable CBTC system in the U.S. If you look outside the U.S., that's essentially the only technology we're delivering now, is CBTC. In many cases, driverless technology, as we've now delivered in Singapore, in Taiwan, and various other places. I think in New York City, and London is another good example, what they determine, the executives of these companies, is that they can't build more rail, and they can't move trains closer together unless they change their signaling technology. And the only technology that's viable today is CBTC. So if they're going to improve the throughput and transport more people, I was in New York City the other day. 15 of their 20 lines are operating over capacity during rush hour.
I'm on those trains every day. I can tell you, do I ever get a seat? No.
Yeah. No, so you know exactly it. And they recognize that, and they're being very progressive to figure out how can we move faster to implement CBTC. Obviously, we've been awarded the QBL contract, which is an extension of our Canarsie technology.
Right.
The Canarsie line is their most favorable operating line today, and they believe it's based on CBTC technology. So we're going to see CBTC. Well, I'm seeing 2 or 3 other places around the country right now that are clearly going to move towards a CBTC solution. We're also delivering CBTC solution on PATH, Port Authority, today.
Yes, that's...
Yeah. So, I mean, it's more than a conversation now, Bill. I think it's now being actively installed in the marketplace.
Now, let's talk about, well, you do have locomotives, and there's one coming right around the corner. Well, it's not moving as fast as it normally does because it's only a model, but your ACS 64 rolled out on the corridor. Your next rollout is going to be the Charger, high speed or higher speed diesel electric. Where do you see the passenger market for locomotives moving forward? A lot of activity there.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty exciting. And then obviously all the initiatives are high-speed rail. And obviously, Siemens, we have a full portfolio of products, both locomotive, signaling, rail electrification systems that can, put in a high-speed rail. So we're seeing that happening. In terms of the marketplace, we also were successful late last year, all aboard Florida.
Yes.
And we're delivering locomotives as well as coaches to them, which will be delivered towards the end of this year, first one, the operating ones. The diesel electric is very promising technology that we're bringing into the marketplace today for the multi-state. So we see us well positioned, and the other advantage that we have is Siemens. We're producing all of that today in the U.S. Right. So 100% of the production is done in the U.S. today. So fully American, Buy America compliant. And I think the market's going to continue to grow, especially as they see efficiency. I also see an opportunity with the freight railroads to introduce electric locomotives. So
really,
they're actually, we're in a study with one of the Class 1 rails right now to look at a section of rail that's highly high volume, that they think there's a very compelling business model to electrify and put electric locomotives in.
I think I know what railroad that is. You probably don't want to mention it, but
no, I don't.
I understand the concept to be you can actually use the right-of-way for power transmission lines, and then because the electrical companies need right-of-way, okay, but then you would actually buy, draw power off of that grid.
That's
for
right.
using electric, okay.
And the electric locomotive is much more efficient and much lower maintenance than a diesel locomotive. So there's a huge opportunity for a payback from the maintenance side for the railroads.
Okay. You think we might see something on that in the near future, or what do you think?
It's hard for me to know. We're prepared to deliver it if someone's interested. So it's hard to say.
We haven't seen an electric freight locomotive since Conrail inherited what back in the 70s, what Penn Central inherited from the Pennsylvania Railroad. I believe it was the E44.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. It's an interesting change, right? And so the railroads are being more creative, and then also, obviously you get the environmental advantage with a diesel, with electric locomotive, right? And that's also a driver in today's marketplace. Yes. I mean, you can see Siemens. We're a big provider of wind technology around the world, and it's the same kind of a.
I think that's tied into it somehow. The electrification. Might be.
They're certainly looking at.
I'm surmising here.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. We could be.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Wind turbines in the Rockies,
right,
generating lots of power. You need to get that power to where it needs to go. Use the railroad right away.
Why not? Why not?
Okay. I recall writing something about this a number of years ago, but I never heard anything about it. It's kind of interesting to see that's coming back.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the other interesting project we're doing right now is E-Highway project, where we're putting a catenary system in on a highway in California, a pilot system, to allow it to move trucks using catenary. So
Really?
yeah, so a diesel truck can drive under the catenary. The catenary recognizes it's there. It comes up, drives on electric power, and then drives off the catenary and continues on diesel. So we're doing a pilot right now in California.
Well, it's rubber tired, but it's interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Very good, Bill. Thank you.
Good.